Hey everybody, I've enjoyed reading your haikus. That's been a lot of fun this week. Some of you have already posted all of your peer responses that are due at the end of this week, and that's fine. Some of you are waiting to do that later this week, and that's fine also. But I've been enjoying reading the conversations and piping in on the discussion every once in a while. Now we're transitioning from 17th century Japan to 18th century Europe, the era known as the Age of Enlightenment. Taking a look at the work of several thinkers who are associated with the Age of Enlightenment, including Immanuel Kant, René Descartes, and especially Voltaire, the author of your first novel for this course, Candide. The idea of nationalism is still a big theme. We started discussing that with regard to the Tokugawa shogunate last week, and as you might have gotten the idea from the John Green video we watched last week, that's still a very big issue in Europe 100 years later and going forward. Candide was first published in 1759, 16 years before the American Revolution, 30 years before the Revolution in France. And Voltaire's ideas are part of a conversation occurring around the world, stirring up the spirit of revolt against tyranny. If you've read Candide before, you're probably aware that the character Pangloss is a satire of a philosopher named Leibniz, and especially his optimistic theory about possible worlds. And I'll have some videos to give you a little bit more background on that theory as part of the discussion board this week. However, Leibniz is not the only target of Voltaire's biting wit. He also makes fun of his own people, the French, as well as the Germans and the English. He aims his satire at both the Catholic Church and at Protestants with equal vigor. Voltaire also incorporates some real-world events into his story, including the 7 Years' War and the 1755 earthquake in Lisbon, one of the deadliest earthquakes in recorded history. Despite Voltaire's over-the-top, wacky tone, there is an underlying element of humanity that I hope you'll be able to detect, particularly in the second half of the book, which we'll talk about next week. But for now, I hope you'll enjoy its humor, and also take a few moments to appreciate the ways in which it fits in with Enlightenment-era thought in general, how it ties into your reading of Kant's essay and Descartes' essay. And that's all I have for you today. Enjoy your reading, and I'll be checking in with you later this week.